15-day faith confession. Speak to win. There comes a time when you must stop waiting for life to hand you victories, and instead rise up and claim them with the authority already placed within you. The spoken word is not a casual thing. It is a divine force, a creative decree that shapes the unseen into form. For the next 15 days, your tongue will become your tool, your faith your fuel, and your imagination your battlefield. Every confession you make is a seed sown into the soil of reality, and if you dare to speak with unwavering conviction, the world will have no choice but to bend and deliver. This is not about hoping, wishing, or begging. It is about declaring with power that which you know is already yours. When your words are aligned with faith and your heart refuses to accept defeat, you do not merely speak, you win. These 15 days are not ordinary days. They are days of transformation, days where you move from waiting on life to commanding it, days where you prove that the greatest victory is not found in chance but in confession. Speak boldly, for every word is a step toward triumph. The power of the spoken word, your entire life, is governed by the words that leave your mouth, whether you know it or not, and whether you intend it or not. Words are not empty sounds. They are containers of power, carrying energy that molds the invisible into the visible. The spoken word is the bridge between thought and manifestation, between what exists only in the imagination and what becomes tangible in the world. Every confession you make is an act of creation, for speech is not merely communication, but creation itself. To confess with faith is to imprint the unseen substance of reality with a command that it cannot ignore. You may not see it immediately, but the very moment you declare it, something in the unseen shifts, moves, and organizes itself to fulfill what you have spoken. Life is not waiting to give you random results. It is responding continuously to the vibration of your voice, and when your voice carries the resonance of faith, victory is inevitable. This is why a 15-day faith confession is not just a spiritual exercise. It is a training ground for your destiny, a deliberate alignment of your inner world with the power of your spoken decree. Think about how easily people speak without consciousness, releasing words of defeat, doubt, and fear. They casually say, "I can't, I don't have, it will never happen," and they wonder why their lives reflect limitation. They do not realize that their words are instructions to the universe, commands to the unseen forces that shape their lives. You cannot continually speak lack and expect abundance. You cannot repeatedly declare weakness and expect strength. You cannot confess failure and expect victory. Your words either build you up or break you down. They either open doors or close them. When you declare something with conviction, it sets in motion the law of manifestation, and the outer world must eventually reflect what has been consistently spoken within. The great tragedy is that most people confess their fears more than their faith. They give more attention to what they do not want than to what they desire, and thus they remain trapped in cycles of their own negative declarations. But when you decide to take control of your confession, when you choose to let only faith, victory, and abundance flow from your lips, you set yourself on a collision course with breakthrough. The spoken word is not effective by sound alone. It is effective when charged with belief and imagination. To speak is one thing, but to speak with the inner knowing that what you declare is already true is another. The moment your inner state aligns with your outer confession, creation cannot resist you. The unseen substance of life is compelled to obey when it hears not just words, but words fused with faith. This is why during these 15 days your confession must be more than a ritual. It must be a declaration of reality. You are not speaking to persuade life to give you something. It already belongs to you. You are not speaking to convince God to act on your behalf. He already has. You are speaking to align yourself with what has been available all along, to bring into view what already exists in the unseen realm. Your words are the keys, and when spoken with authority, they unlock the doors to your desired outcomes. This is not about positive thinking alone, for thinking without speaking remains locked in the mind. The spoken word externalizes the thought, sends it out like a seed planted into the soil of the universe, Once planted, it begins to grow, and though you may not see immediate results, the process has already begun. Just as a seed under the ground pushes through invisible stages before breaking the surface, your words work silently but powerfully in the unseen until the evidence becomes undeniable. If you remain consistent in your confession, refusing to dig up your seed with words of doubt, the harvest is guaranteed. Every time you open your mouth during these 15 days, you are planting seeds. The question is, what seeds will you plant? Will they be seeds of strength, abundance, and victory, or will they be seeds of fear, weakness, and defeat? The creative power of words is seen all throughout existence. Consider how the world itself was framed by spoken command, how light came forth by a decree, how form emerged from the void through sound. If the beginning of creation was birthed by the spoken word, how much more your own reality can be reshaped by it. You are made in the likeness of the Creator, and thus your speech carries the same potential to form, to shift, and to call into being what does not yet appear. You cannot speak failure and expect success. You cannot declare I am weak and expect to be strong. But the moment you say, I am strong, I am favored, I am victorious, and mean it, life begins to rearrange itself to honor your words. The outer world will eventually bow to the inner decree. During these 15 days, discipline your tongue like never before. Do not let idle, careless, or negative words slip out, for they undermine the harvest you seek. Refuse to contradict your confession by complaining, doubting, or rehearsing your limitations. Instead, let every word out of your mouth be filled with faith, expectation, and gratitude. If you are believing for healing, confess health every single day, not as a request but as a reality. I am whole, I am healed, I am strong. If you are seeking financial breakthrough, confess abundance. I live in overflow, wealth flows to me, opportunities chase me down. If you are standing for restoration, confess peace and reconciliation. Harmony is mine, relationships align, love flows freely to me. Your words set the tone, and your tone sets the outcome. And remember, the greatest opposition you will face during these 15 days will not be from others but from yourself. Your mind will try to argue, this is not true, you are just saying words. Your senses will scream, look at the evidence, nothing is changing. But this is where the true power of faith confession is revealed, not in speaking what you see, but in declaring what you know to be true regardless of what appears. Faith confession is not a reflection of circumstances, it is a command to circumstances. You do not speak because of what you see, you speak so that what you see will change. The more you persist, the weaker the voice of doubt becomes, and the stronger your faith takes root. These 15 days are an opportunity to retrain your entire being, to shift from defeat to victory, from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. Each day you confess, you are building momentum, strengthening your inner conviction, and amplifying the creative vibration of your voice. By the end of these days, you will not only have spoken your way into alignment with your desires, but you will also have reprogrammed your consciousness to expect nothing less than victory. The spoken word is your greatest weapon, your most powerful tool, and when you wield it with faith, nothing in this world can stand against you. Speak boldly, speak consistently, speak to win, because your words will not return empty. They will accomplish what you have sent them to do. Imagination fuels confession. Confession without imagination is like a body without breath. It exists, but it does not carry life. The true power of your spoken word comes when it is ignited by the fire of your inner vision. Words alone may sound impressive, but when you speak while simultaneously seeing and feeling the reality of what you declare, you set in motion a force that cannot be denied. Imagination is the womb of creation, the hidden workshop where realities are shaped long before they arrive in the world of appearances. If your confession is to carry weight, you must marry it with imagination. When you speak wealth, you must see yourself already prosperous. When you declare health, you must imagine yourself vibrant and strong. When you confess victory, you must feel the thrill of having already won. The unseen responds not merely to sound but to conviction, and conviction comes when word and imagination become one. This is the secret to commanding life rather than pleading with it. You speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows, because you have already experienced it inwardly. Most people fail in confession because they speak one thing while imagining another. They declare abundance but see lack. They confess healing but still picture sickness. They affirm victory but imagine defeat. The subconscious mind does not obey the empty shell of words. It obeys the vivid images and feelings you entertain while you speak. If you say, "I am rich," but see overdue bills, you have contradicted yourself. If you say, "I am loved," but feel abandoned, you cancel your own declaration. This is why imagination must be trained to align with your confession. You must practice the inner vision of already being the person you speak yourself into becoming. You must clothe your words with pictures, sensations, and emotions that match the reality you desire. The subconscious accepts only what is impressed upon it vividly and persistently, and imagination is the tool by which this impression is made. When words and imagination work together, the result is inevitable manifestation. Imagination does not require effort in the way people think. It requires surrender. To imagine is to allow yourself to step into the scene of your desire as though it were already happening. You need not strain to create. You need only relax and assume. For example, if you confess financial breakthrough, do not struggle to make yourself believe it. Instead, close your eyes and walk through the scene of already living in abundance. Feel the joy of freedom. Hear yourself saying, "It is done." Picture yourself celebrating. Let this inner movie play while your lips declare, "I am prosperous, I live in overflow, wealth flows to me now." Suddenly, the confession is no longer words spoken into the air. It is a command sealed in the depth of your being. When you consistently hold this union of word and imagination, the subconscious takes it as fact and begins to restructure reality to match it. This is why during the 15-day faith confession, your imagination must be engaged daily. Do not simply repeat phrases mechanically, for repetition without vision is empty. Instead, turn every confession into an inner experience. As you declare healing, imagine yourself running, laughing, filled with energy. As you affirm success, picture yourself achieving goals, receiving the promotion, or celebrating the breakthrough. As you confess love, imagine yourself embraced, accepted, cherished. The key is to go beyond mere words and step into the reality of what you speak. If you can see it inwardly while declaring it outwardly, you have already planted it in the soil of your destiny. Imagination is not fantasy, it is reality waiting for expression. Fantasy is wishful thinking detached from faith, but imagination infused with confession becomes a decree. It is the rehearsal of what must inevitably unfold. Many dismiss imagination as childish, yet everything that exists in your world was once imagined by someone. The home you live in, the car you drive, the device you hold, all were first ideas, mental pictures, inner visions. If the outer world is shaped by imagination, why should you not use this same faculty to reshape your own life? To neglect imagination is to neglect the very mechanism of creation, but to combine it with confession is to wield a power that transforms impossibility into certainty. You may wonder, how do I keep my imagination strong when the world around me looks the opposite? The answer is persistence. The outer world is only a reflection of your past beliefs and confessions, not a verdict on your present ones. It lags behind your inner life. If you continue to align your imagination with your confession, the outer must eventually catch up. Do not measure the effectiveness of your words by what you see in the moment. A farmer does not dig up the seed each day to check if it has grown. He trusts the process, knowing growth is happening beneath the soil. In the same way, trust that your confession and imagination are already at work in the unseen. Persist in your inner vision until the outer world bows to it. The delay is not denial, it is only alignment. Another secret to strengthening imagination is to infuse it with emotion. Words without feeling are like seeds without water. They do not grow. When you confess, do not speak in monotone, but let your voice carry the vibration of certainty. As you imagine, let yourself feel the joy, the gratitude, the peace of already having it. Emotion locks the image in place and convinces the subconscious that it is real. If you declare, "I am victorious," but feel weak and hopeless, the words lose their power. But if you declare, "I am victorious," and let yourself feel the triumph, hear the applause in your mind, see the evidence of success, then your subconscious embraces it as truth. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It is the emotion of already receiving. When you confess with gratitude, you bypass doubt and step directly into possession. Throughout these 15 days, do not let your imagination wander aimlessly. Direct it with intention. Each time you confess, pause and create the picture. See yourself already living in that reality. If your mind tries to resist, gently redirect it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes, until imagination automatically aligns with your words. Eventually, speaking abundance will naturally call forth images of prosperity. Declaring health will automatically bring visions of vitality. Confessing love will effortlessly create pictures of connection. At this point, confession and imagination will move as one, and when they do, manifestation is inevitable. Remember, the outer world is only a shadow of the inner world. To change the shadow, you must change the substance. Words are the voice of the inner world, and imagination is its vision. Together, they form the blueprint for your destiny. What you consistently confess and imagine, you will eventually experience. These 15 days are not about magic words. They are about training yourself to see and speak only the end you desire. Once you master this, life has no choice but to yield. For confession without imagination is powerless, but confession with imagination is unstoppable. So as you embark on these days of faith confession, let your imagination be your partner. Speak with conviction, but also see with clarity. Feel the end as though it were now. Walk daily in the inner reality of what you desire until the outer reality reflects it. When word and imagination unite, nothing can stand against you. This is the path of creation, the secret of victory, the assurance that when you speak, you do not merely make noise, you make worlds. Persist beyond appearances. Faith confession is not tested when everything looks easy. It is tested when everything looks impossible. It is simple to speak victory when the evidence is in your favor. But it takes true conviction to keep declaring triumph when every outward sign screams defeat. Persistence is the dividing line between those who see results and those who give up too soon. The world of appearances is deceptive. It mirrors not what is currently happening within you, but what has been consistently accepted and confessed in the past. Too many people abandon their confession because the outer picture does not instantly shift. They speak abundance for a week, but when bills remain, they give in to doubt. They declare healing for a few days, but when symptoms linger, they return to fear. They affirm love, but when rejection arises, they feel unworthy again. They do not realize that the outer world takes time to catch up with the new command. Just as a seed takes time to grow before it bears fruit, so do your words and imagination take time to reorganize the fabric of your life. If you persist, reality bends. If you waver, you return to the old pattern. Persistence is the proof of faith. Consider the nature of appearances. They are nothing more than projections of past states of mind. What you see today is yesterday's confession, yesterday's belief, yesterday's imagination clothed in form. To judge your current efforts by what is visible now is to misinterpret the process. You cannot plant a seed today and harvest tomorrow. Yet you do not doubt the process of growth. Why then doubt the process of your confession? The outer world must obey, but it operates in sequence. The unseen first, the seen second, the invisible roots first, the visible fruit later. If you abandon your confession midway because appearances contradict it, you have uprooted your seed before it could blossom. Persistence is the refusal to let appearances dictate your faith. It is the choice to hold your inner vision firm until the outer must bow to it. The most dangerous moment in confession is when nothing seems to be happening. This is where most people fail, not because their words lack power, but because their patience collapses. They confuse silence with inactivity. forgetting that the unseen is working tirelessly to rearrange circumstances in their favor. The evidence often comes suddenly, but the buildup is gradual and hidden. Like a seed underground, invisible to the eye, transformation is already underway long before the sprout emerges. The key is to keep speaking, keep believing, keep imagining, even when appearances suggest otherwise. The longer you persist, the weaker the hold of the old reality becomes, and the stronger your new reality takes root. It is persistence that bridges the gap between the invisible and the visible, between what you confess and what you possess. Think of persistence as the training of the soul. Each time you persist in faith despite appearances, you strengthen your inner authority. You teach your subconscious that your inner word is more real than outer evidence. Eventually, your mind begins to obey you without resistance. What once felt like struggle becomes natural. Confession becomes your state of being. At that point, you no longer chase manifestation. It chases you. Persistence not only changes your reality, it transforms you into a vessel unshaken by circumstances. You become a master of appearances rather than a victim of them. This is the true victory, not just receiving what you desire, but becoming the kind of person who cannot be swayed by illusion. Persistence requires discipline over the tongue and the mind. Your words must remain consistent, and your inner images must remain steady. If you confess one thing today and contradict it tomorrow, you sabotage your own harvest. If you imagine abundance in the morning but picture lack in the evening, you scatter the seeds. Consistency builds momentum. Every repeated confession deepens the imprint on your subconscious. Every persistent image strengthens the blueprint of your desire. Over time, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Do not measure success by days or weeks. Measure it by alignment. The moment you align word, imagination, and persistence, the outcome is already guaranteed, no matter how long it takes to arrive in form. Persistence is also tested by opposition. Often, when you begin a faith confession, life seems to get harder. Suddenly, problems intensify, resistance rises, and obstacles appear. This is not proof that your confession has failed, but proof that it has begun to work. The old reality is fighting to maintain its hold, but it cannot withstand consistent declaration. Opposition is the birth pangs of new creation. If you interpret it as failure, you retreat and the old reality survives. But if you interpret it as evidence that change is underway, you persist with even greater conviction. The storm before the breakthrough is the clearest sign that your new world is about to emerge. Persistence is refusing to surrender in the storm. During these 15 days, persistence must be your shield. Decide in advance that no matter what appears, you will not break your confession. If you declare abundance and your account looks empty, persist. If you confess healing and your body feels weak, persist. If you affirm victory and life feels heavy, persist. Appearances are temporary, but your word is eternal. You are not bound to circumstances. Circumstances are bound to you. The unseen world is listening, aligning, and responding, but only to the one who persists. If you give up, you reset the process. If you persist, you guarantee the result. The difference between those who manifest and those who don't is rarely in ability, it is in persistence. Persistence is not stubbornness for its own sake, it is faith in action. It is the choice to live from the end you desire rather than the evidence you see. It is knowing that appearances are delayed reflections, not present truth. To persist is to declare, I refuse to be fooled by shadows. I live in the substance of my inner confession. This attitude breaks the cycle of failure and ushers in a new reality. For once you no longer bend to appearances, appearances must bend to you. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at stone. The stone resists at first. It seems unmovable, but with each strike, progress is made, though the changes are not always visible. One day, after consistent strikes, the form emerges and the masterpiece is revealed. Your confession is the chisel, and persistence is the repeated strike. Each declaration shapes your reality, though you may not notice the change immediately. If you keep striking, eventually the masterpiece of your desire emerges. The stone yields not because it is weak, but because persistence is stronger. So let these 15 days be your training in persistence. Do not count hours or days, count declarations. Do not measure success by sight, measure it by inner certainty. Speak as if appearances do not matter, because they don't. Confess as if the outcome is already sealed, because it is. Persist until persistence itself becomes your nature. At that point, you will not just win battles. You will live in perpetual victory. For the one who persists beyond appearances is unstoppable, unshakable, and destined to manifest every confession spoken in faith. Time is your servant, not your master. One of the greatest deceptions that robs people of their faith confession is the illusion of time. We have been trained to believe that time holds the power, that it determines when, how, and if things happen. But time is not your master, it is your servant. It does not govern you, it responds to you. The truth is that everything you confess in faith already exists in the unseen. You are not waiting for it to be created, you are waiting for it to be revealed, and what we call waiting is not actually delay but alignment. Time is simply the stage upon which what you have already spoken into being becomes visible. Yet too many give up because they measure their progress by the calendar. They say, I have been confessing for days, weeks, even years, but nothing has changed. They misunderstand the principle. Confession does not beg time to move, it commands time to deliver. The moment you speak with conviction, the substance of your desire is established in the unseen. Time is only the unfolding of that invisible reality into visible form. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You do not demand the seed sprout instantly. You understand that it already contains the tree in potential form. Time does not create the tree, it reveals it. In the same way, when you confess healing, abundance, victory, or love, you are planting a seed. The manifestation is already in the seed, already contained in the word you spoke. Time cannot deny it, time only unfolds it. Your role is not to panic about how long it takes, but to remain consistent until the evidence appears. Every day of persistence is not a day of waiting, it is a day of alignment, a day of watering the seed with your faith. You do not wait for creation. Creation is finished. You simply align yourself until the finished work becomes visible. The danger of misunderstanding time is that people become discouraged and contradict their confession. They begin in faith but end in frustration, saying things like, it's taking too long, maybe it won't happen, maybe I was wrong. Those words undo their confession. They treat time as an authority rather than a servant. They do not realize that time only bends to faith, not to doubt. Doubt delays, faith accelerates. Every time you maintain your confession without wavering, you speed the alignment. Every time you contradict it with fear, you reset the process. The question is not when will it happen, but am I aligned now? For the moment you align fully, the manifestation begins its journey into the visible. Time is not against you, it is for you. It is the space in which you prove your conviction. If everything manifested instantly, there would be no persistence, no strengthening of faith, no growth in inner power. Time allows you to demonstrate that your confession is not empty words, but a deep conviction. It allows you to rise above appearances and live from the unseen. Time is your training ground, shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken by delay or disappointment. Every day you continue confessing despite appearances is a day you prove your mastery over time. The outer world may move slowly, but your inner world is already complete. Once you grasp this, time no longer intimidates you. You will say with authority, it is done, even before the evidence appears, because you understand that time is only revealing what already exists. Many people live as slaves to time. They say, I'm too late, I'm too old, my chance has passed, but age and delay are illusions. The moment you confess in faith, you reset your timeline. Life does not measure you by the years that have passed, but by the state you occupy now. If you accept that your confession is reality, time bends to accommodate it. You are never late when you live by faith, because faith collapses time. What would take others years can come to you in months. What seemed impossible by the clock becomes inevitable by confession. This is why you must not fear time, but command it. Speak to it. Say, my harvest is now, my victory is now, my breakthrough is now. Do not beg for time to be kind to you, rule over it. It was created for you, not you for it. During these 15 days, your relationship with time must change. Do not count the days with anxiety as though you are on a deadline. Count them with expectation, knowing that each day adds strength to your confession. Each day is not a delay, but a delivery in progress. If you confess abundance on day 1, abundance has already begun its journey toward you. Day 2, it draws closer. Day 5, the channels rearrange. Day 10, unseen doors unlock. Day 15, you may see evidence, or you may not. But whether or not you see it, the work is finished. Evidence always lags behind the decree. Do not stop at 15 days because you do not yet see the result. Continue, knowing that time cannot deny your word once it has been spoken in faith. The 15 days are not about forcing manifestation within a limit. They are about training your spirit to rule time. Consider this: when you imagine the end, you collapse time. In your imagination, you can step into the reality of already having it. You can bypass the calendar and live in the victory now. When you do this consistently, time must bow to your inner state. It cannot hold back what you already possess within. This is why imagination and confession work so powerfully together. They transport you beyond time into the finished work. Once you live from there inwardly, the outer must eventually reflect it, regardless of the calendar. Time serves the one who refuses to be ruled by it. If ever you feel discouraged because it seems too late, remind yourself that creation knows no deadlines. The moment you confess, reality begins to align. Even if the outer evidence appears delayed, you are not delayed. You are right on schedule. Your confession carries timeless power. A person at 60 can confess abundance and experience what others could not in a lifetime. A person who feels years behind can confess success and find that time compresses, bringing opportunities swiftly. Do not believe the lie that time is stolen from you. Time steals only from those who surrender to it. To those who confess, time becomes an ally, accelerating what once seemed impossible. So during these 15 days, do not watch the clock, watch your words. Do not measure progress by hours or years, but by the strength of your conviction. Each day of faithful confession is a victory over time itself. Speak as though you already hold it. Imagine as though it is already done. Walk as though it cannot be denied, for the truth is it cannot. Time is powerless to stop what has already been decreed in faith. It is not your master, it is your servant. And when you understand this, you live free from fear of delay, disappointment, or deadlines. You walk in peace, knowing that every word spoken in faith is already fulfilled in the unseen and will appear in the seen at the appointed moment. Therefore, rise up during these days and declare boldly, I am not a slave to time. Time serves me. My confession is now. My victory is now. My reality is now. Speak it, see it, feel it, and refuse to bow to the illusion of delay. For the moment you do, time bends to your faith. And when time bends, the impossible becomes inevitable, and your destiny unfolds without resistance. Speak to win, not to wish. There is a vast difference between wishing and winning, and the difference is found in the way you speak. Wishing is weak, uncertain, and rooted in the idea that maybe one day, somehow, things might turn in your favor. Wishing leaves the outcome outside of you, placing power in chance, fate, or external forces. But speaking to win is altogether different. It is rooted in certainty, conviction, and authority. When you speak to win, you are not hoping, you are declaring. You are not asking, you are claiming. You are not begging for something that might be, you are standing in the assurance of what already is. Faith confession is not about throwing words into the air and hoping they land somewhere favorable. It is about releasing decrees into the unseen realm, knowing that creation must respond. For 15 days, you are not here to wish, you are here to win. Every word you speak must carry the vibration of finality, the tone of victory, the authority of one who knows that the outcome is already settled. The reason so many confessions fail is that people confuse speaking with wishing. They repeat phrases as if reciting lines, but deep within, they are uncertain, doubtful, and hesitant. They say the words, but the energy of their voice betrays them. Their tone reveals that they are hoping for something instead of claiming it, but true faith confession leaves no room for hesitation. When you speak to win, your words come from the place of it is done, and not I hope it will be. You stand as though the result already exists, because in truth it does. You understand that the unseen is the source, and the seen is merely its reflection. So your confession does not beg the reflection to appear, it commands it. This is why your declaration must sound different than your wish. A wish whispers, maybe. A confession decrees, now. A wish asks, could it be? A confession declares, it is. To speak to win means to embody the identity of the winner before the evidence appears. When an athlete trains, they do not approach the competition as though they are hoping to win. They step into the arena with the confidence that victory is theirs. Their posture, their focus, their words, all carry the energy of triumph before the medal is placed in their hands. This is the posture of your confession. You must not speak like a beggar petitioning for crumbs. You must speak like a king declaring your dominion. A king does not hope that his word will be carried out. He knows it. His decree is law. When you confess in faith, your words are law to the unseen. They cannot return void. They must accomplish what you have spoken. Speak then with the confidence of royalty, not the trembling of a servant. The shift from wishing to winning lies in identity. When you wish, you speak as someone separate from the outcome, hoping to grasp it from afar. When you win, you speak as someone already won with the outcome, simply calling it into view. This is why you must begin every confession with the posture of I am, rather than I will be. I am healed, and not I will be healed. I am abundant, and not I will be abundant. I am victorious, and not I hope to be victorious. The words I am are declarations of being, and being precedes having. If you declare from the position of already being, having will inevitably follow. To wish is to postpone, to confess is to claim. The winner knows it is already settled. Speaking to win also means speaking with consistency. Winners do not change their declaration based on mood or circumstance. A wishful heart says, I believe today, but tomorrow, if it looks bad, I will doubt. A winner says, I declare today, I declare tomorrow, I declare until the end, regardless of what appears. To speak to win is to be unwavering, to allow no contradiction to slip from your tongue. If you say, I am prosperous, in the morning and complain of lack in the evening, you are not speaking to win. You are speaking to wish. Wishes fluctuate, confessions remain steadfast. Victory comes not from occasional bursts of faith, but from consistent decrees spoken with conviction. Another key to speaking to win is the authority of your tone. Words are not only about what is said, but how they are said. A soldier does not follow an uncertain command. The universe does not respond to a timid voice. Speak your confession with strength, with boldness, with finality. Do not mumble as though unsure. Speak as though you mean it, because you do. The vibration of your voice carries energy, and energy commands response. If you whisper a wish, nothing moves. But if you declare with authority, creation aligns. Do not fear being bold. Boldness is the language of victory. Let your words echo with certainty, and they will carve paths in the unseen until the seen reflects them. When you speak to win, gratitude must also accompany your confession. Gratitude is the seal of certainty. To thank for something is to acknowledge that it already exists. You do not thank someone for a gift they might give. You thank because it is already in your possession. In the same way, when you confess and follow it with gratitude, you affirm that the matter is settled. I am healed, thank you. I am prosperous, thank you. I am victorious, thank you. Gratitude transforms your confession from hope into certainty. It tells the unseen, I already know this is mine. Gratitude is the language of winners, for winners celebrate before the trophy is handed to them. During these 15 days, train yourself to eliminate every wishful phrase from your vocabulary. Remove I hope, and maybe one day, if it's possible, replace them with declarations of certainty. It is mine, it is done, I am. Each time your mind tries to slip into wishing, redirect it back to winning. Each time your tongue tries to say, I will be, correct it to, I am. Speak only from the position of victory. See yourself already in possession of it. Feel it, own it, embody it. When you do this, your confession gains a force that no obstacle can withstand. You will not just speak, you will decree, and decrees move mountains. To wish is to wait, to confess is to create. To wish is to plead, to confess is to command. To wish is to accept defeat as a possibility. To confess is to erase defeat from the equation. For the next 15 days, every word you speak must be a victory speech, not a plea for mercy. See yourself as one who has already won. Let your words reflect that truth. Refuse to bow to appearances. Refuse to dilute your confession with hesitation. Speak as the winner you are, not as the beggar you fear to be. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, until speaking victory becomes your default language. And when victory becomes your language, it becomes your life. So rise up in these 15 days and speak with the authority of one who knows the outcome. Do not wish win, do not hope, declare, do not plead. Command, say it with conviction. I am strong, I am abundant, I am victorious, I am chosen. Let your words reverberate through your being until doubt has no place to hide. Speak like the winner you are, and the world will bend to your decree. For when you speak to win, you cannot lose. Your confession is law, your word is power, and your destiny is sealed in the authority of your voice. Speak then, not as one who wishes, but as one who wins. For the outcome has already been written in your favor.